welcome to my channel, The Long Game, where I talk about entrepreneurship and how we can build our businesses as entrepreneur to outlive us, thinking legacy and thinking around the long game. So we are gathered here today. You can see it's a lovely afternoon and I am outside. And whenever you see me outside, you must know it is whatever it takes, because as entrepreneurs, we always show up. So thank you, ESCOM, for letting me have a bit of fresh air outside. So fam, looking forward to chatting with you, getting your insights on the chats and having a conversation. So today, what do I want to chat about? So it's been on my mind and had an amazing conversation with a seasoned entrepreneur, Karuna, yesterday at the Saki event. And we were talking collaboration. To say collaboration is one of the most powerful tools that we can use as entrepreneurs to grow our businesses. So one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make is thinking that they can build everything by themselves. A lot of us know the saying that, why do you want to reinvent the wheel? A lot of people have been in business and are doing this thing. And sometimes we feel like we can just do this better, and then we just go at it by ourselves and life hits us, it knocks us. And what I'm saying, there's innovation. But innovation builds on something. So you can have your innovation, you can have what you're good at and what you are pushing, your positioning as a business. But collaboration is the biggest superpower to help you grow. So what do I mean about collaboration? So collaboration is when two or more businesses put together their offerings or what they're good at so that more value is created than what the business can do alone. And how does it look like in real life? Collaboration looks like shared resources. It looks like shared customers. It looks like shared expertise. It looks like shared distribution. So there are many things that you can do as an entrepreneur to foster this collaboration. And then just talking around my own story, collaboration has been one of the biggest fuels that has helped me to grow, especially building relationships with other entrepreneurs where they just share their journey, they share how they do things, they share their experiences to say, hey, this works, this has worked for us, this hasn't worked. And in that conversation, I gain wisdom and I check, okay, I can try this out, or, whoa, let me not go this route because this is how I've been warned. And just thinking of some of the great advice or great learnings that I've gotten through collaboration is being in the events business, being young, always eager, late clients, I'm there jumping out. My claim to fame is if you've got something, we'll make it happen in any given amount of time, any given spec, we'll do our best to make it happen. And one supplier of mine who was mentoring and I was collaborating with, he was just like, hey, Tembi, think about it. If somebody comes to you and says, hey, my supplier let me down, now I'm looking for a supplier last minute, ask yourself this question. As a supplier, would you let a customer down? And I was like, no. And he was just like, just think about it. What type of customer would you let down? You'd let down like a fussy customer. Maybe they're fussy with the requirements and keep changing. Maybe they don't want to pay, maybe. And he just made me see something. And this is what I'm talking about with collaboration. When you talk with other suppliers, have these conversations, you learn a great deal of things. So even though I still thrive in making things happen, now I have a more calculated approach as I've learned that last minute requirements and all those things, those clients take a lot more energy, a lot more demanding, and those are the learnings that I've learned through collaboration. Another growth and scale point is partnering with guys who are bigger than you, guys who have been in the industry, who have walked this journey, and you can walk alongside with them. So I'll start when I first started. There was Rob Cunningham. He actually contributed a lot to my growth. I used to rent equipment from him and his company. And I'd have a chat with him every time I'd go pick up things. I'm like, hey, what's working for you? What doesn't work? And he would tell me, he'd be like, hey, Google Ads works for us. It works because 1, 2, 3. And he says, in the past year, it used to bring in like 80% of our customers, but over time it's deteriorating because most people are getting into it. And I learned a lot. And he had this crazy saying where he would be like, in our conversation, I shouldn't be telling you this because we are competitors, but hey, if I don't tell you, you'll Google this anyway. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that collaboration with people in the industry, people outside the industry, a lot of growth is to be found in collaboration. So let's get practical and let's get into why collaboration matters. And the biggest thing around collaboration, as I open my chats, the biggest thing around collaboration is someone else already has the market you're in, and you don't have to start from zero. Sometimes it feels demanding, sometimes it feels difficult, but find ways of collaborating with people where you've got complementary services. Another thing is collaboration shortcuts your growth. When you collaborate, you are leveraging off somebody else's expertise, and they are in turn leveraging off your expertise. And you don't have to build from scratch, as I've mentioned. Also, in terms of efficiency, there's a cost efficiency to collaboration, and there's also a sharing of infrastructure, sharing of things, and there's also credibility, right? So when you are collaborating with somebody in the industry, they know their name, they know their brand, you are also coming along, and when you guys collaborate, their brand, since they've been in the industry, gives you credibility as an entrepreneur. And the same way, if you've been in the game and there's somebody else you're collaborating with, you guys share credibility. So that is why it is ultra important for you to partner with people where you trust their credibility, and teaming up with them will not hurt your credibility. Okay, and another thing is, then why don't people collaborate? If we are saying that collaboration is a force, collaboration helps us scale, why do we find that people do not collaborate? And one of the biggest things we have as entrepreneurs is ego. Challenging you, check yourself. What's your ego like? Many of us entrepreneurs, we've got this hero mentality where we're like, I can do it myself. I can do this. I've got this. And that attitude helps us, but sometimes it harms us. Sometimes that attitude of heroism harms us, where we're now hitting ourselves against the wall just because we feel we can do it and we've got it, and we forfeit the easier or more efficient way just because we want to prove that we've got it. Another thing that makes us fear collaboration, and it's a real fear, is the fear of being cheated. Wow. And a lot of entrepreneurs can share war stories of how they tried to partner with somebody and they cheated them out of money. Sometimes they cheat them out of clients. Sometimes they mess up. So there is also that fear of being cheated. And then another one is lack of trust, where we see that this collaboration thing is a good idea, but can I really trust the other person? Can I really trust the other company with this project? So many entrepreneurs would rather struggle alone than grow together. So you can make the choice if You would rather struggle alone or grow together. So let's check, what does good collaboration look like? So the best way in terms of collaboration that I found is collaborating with people with complementary service. An example that I like, especially being in the events business, we're into production. You have guys who do deco, you have guys who do catering, you have guys who do photography. So if you know credible suppliers within your network, where you guys can share customers, you guys can share skill to say, if you do deco, you focus on deco. There's a lot to be explored in deco. And then your customer would say, hey, I need production. I need like sound for my wedding. I need sound for my conference. I need screens. Do you know someone who can help? And they will ask the deco people, because they are usually the ones who get hired first, even event planners, to be like, hey, do you know a photographer? Do you know a videographer? So you can see now that instead of this deco company doing all the services themselves, this is when they bring in reinforcement. This is when they collaborate with other entrepreneurs. So as a caterer, if you've got a relationship with somebody who does deco, as a photographer, if you've got relationships with deco companies, with event planners, with caterers, now you see that you are expanding your network, you're expanding the type of gigs that you get. So even with my company, I've got guys who know they can call me, and I know that I can call certain people for certain types of services, and that is collaboration. Another one, if you're in marketing, like if you're in the digitizing service, where you're digitizing via social media, digitizing via web presence, you can partner and collaborate with a marketing company, where as you digitize, you're like, hey, I've built your website, I've put you on socials. Hey, here's a marketing company that can help you with ABC. And the marketing company then also collaborates with you on the digital side. Another one is supplier and distribution. And a lot of us as entrepreneurs, as we are building, we are focused on our core service. Let's say you're in the construction industry. You're busy, you're building, you've got your day-to-day, but you need to bring equipment, you need to bring your resources from the shop to your to site. So as you bring that equipment, you need to partner with a company that does logistics. So what am I saying? I'm saying that it is highly important that you collaborate. So let me get us back to focus. Okay, just checking focus as we go along. Okay, just one more second. Okay, cool, guys. We're back in focus. Okay, cool. So then, how do we approach collaboration? So let's break this down and make it practical. So it's important to know the value that you bring into the relationship and the value that your counterpart also brings to the relationship. So what do you bring? Do you bring customers? Do you bring skill? Do you bring a platform? Do you bring distribution? So let the value align. And the best partnerships is when you bring something that the other person values and the other person brings what you value. So one of the collaborations that we've done as a company is collaborating with logistics company to say that our expertise is in production, and sometimes we need to partner with guys with trucks, logistics, to help us with the load. And what's the value we bring? We bring them clients, or we bring them business because they're helping us, and the value they bring to us, they help us move our stuff because we are in the business of production and not moving stuff. So as you can see, this is when we are giving value to each other as businesses. And then another thing is to look for alignment. Are you guys serving the same customer? Do you guys have complementary services? So I've spoken about complementary services, especially around where you guys serve each other, but you guys are not competing, because there is the danger of losing clients to each other. If you guys are in the same business and then are collaborating, there is that danger. That's where trust is important. And to be honest, where there is integrity, it works. I know a lot of businesses that collaborate, even let's take construction, where companies do joint ventures and say, hey, come through, help me with this event. And then there's this partnership, this gentleman's agreement, as they would say in English, where you're just like, hey, don't poach my clients, but let's collaborate together on this. So I highly recommend collaboration on complementary services, and then just that check in terms of when we compete and start sharing customers or collaborating on things. And then in terms of making it practical as well is, okay, if you're starting this, start small. Don't try take on the whole world or like big projects. Start with small manageable deals. Like, okay, let's do this together. How did I find my collaborator? Next deal, is it working? And then just test the relationship. Sometimes a danger is going in head first. Very good at talking. They can sell you the whole world, and then when it gets to the nitty-gritties of delivery, then you struggle. So how do you make it practical? Start small, one deal, test. And then also just be clear. This for me is important. Be clear about how things work. Who is responsible for what? Who gets paid what? And who carries what expenses? And who owns the customer? So these are the things that many people fight around. And but when there's money involved, sometimes there's this shift that happens to people. So hence, I like things written down. I like things clear, to be like, hey, you do this, I do this, if this, then that. And sometimes we are scared to ask these challenging questions from the beginning because we feel like, hey, it will come across as I don't trust you. But these are the core things that people fight about. So it's important for you to just be clear so that you avoid conflict. Who's responsible for what? Because at some point it feels like, hey, I'm doing a lot and this other person is not doing a lot, but we said we'd share 50-50. So hence it's just important to clarify who's doing what, who's getting paid, who owns the customer, and anything that you would like to clarify as an entrepreneur. And moving on to the next section is just some of the common mistakes that I've seen happen in collaboration. And these common mistakes are costly. So the first one, as I've just spoken about it, is having no agreement. Please have an agreement. Have a verbal agreement, have something written down. Contracts are good for business, but just have an agreement to say, As I've said, who's doing what, payment terms, client ownership, responsibility, expenses, and also just align on expectations. Sometimes we do these agreements lightly, and then when life happens, the other person is just like, hey, I was saying yes to X, but not saying yes to Y. So please be clear on expectations and be clear that not one person is doing all the work, and sharpen your communication. This collaboration will grow you, it will challenge you, and communication is something that we always need to be growing in as entrepreneurs. So the principle is collaboration can help you grow as an entrepreneur, and collaboration must benefit both parties. If only one side benefits, then that collaboration won't last because the other side is feeling done under. So in this series of collaboration, what am I trying to say is that you don't need to build everything alone. Do not reinvent the wheel. The fastest way to scale and borrow credibility is to collaborate with others. Collaborate with others where you have complementary services. Collaborate with others where you can leverage each other's value and what each person brings to the table. Growth is not just about effort, it's about success. Check what you're doing as an entrepreneur and see how collaboration works. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd be very interested to find out how collaboration has worked for you as a business. Happy to see what's up in the chat. So, how has collaboration helped you? And then just another question is, who could you collaborate with right now in your business? Happy to check the chat. So I am seeing Itu Tumza saying that's great. So thank you for that comment, Itu. Thank you for joining the live. So who are you collaborating with? And just as more entrepreneurs are just writing their comments in the chats, my personal story is one of the biggest collaborations and growth points for me was collaborating with bigger suppliers in the industry, where I would advertise, get the business, and as I got the business, collaborate with people who've done the job before, where I could leverage on how they are doing the job. As I got more of those jobs, then I got to buy my equipment, then I got to get my own staff, then I built that platform for myself. So one of the greatest growth points for me was collaborating with guys bigger than myself in industry. So I've really seen that work for me, and I hope that works for you too. Checking the chats as well to see if anybody else wants to lend something into the conversation. 3, 2, 1. Cool. So, fam, thank you very much for joining. Looking forward to seeing you next week. If there's any topic you'd like us to cover during these live sessions, please put it on the chat. Please send me a DM. Looking forward to us building our businesses together for the long game. To everybody who joined today, thank you very much, and looking forward to the stories of how your business has grown. What are your goals for 2026? Just to share my personal goals is to formalize and professionalize my business for growth in terms of dealing with bigger clients. And I'm challenging myself, I'm challenging my team to say, who do I need to be to play in the next level? So looking forward to your guys' success stories, and thank you for joining today, and looking forward to seeing you next week. Peace, and keep pushing for the long game.